Welcome to the Miracle Hotline podcast. I'm Dino Pandolfo. Miracles are woven into the fabric of our lives, touching each of us in profound ways. Whether you've prayed for one desperately or found yourself in awe of an unexpected blessing, miracles leave an indelible mark. This podcast offers a platform for you to share your miracle stories, igniting hope and belief in others who may be facing challenging times. Join us as we delve into the realm of miracles, featuring first-hand testimonies, insightful interviews, and captivating investigations into the most remarkable stories. Share your miracle by leaving a message or texting a voice memo to 412-446-0330 or visiting miraclehotline.com. Your story could be featured on the show. Don't miss out. Subscribe to the Miracle Hotline podcast to catch every inspiring episode. This episode is a continuation of the story starting with Lou from Long Island, who has experienced miracles involving Padre Pio. Lou introduced us to Barbara Fuina, who told us how her husband Anthony picked up a hitchhiker who turned out to be Padre Pio. In this episode, I'll be interviewing Joanne Von Zwehl, the president of the Rosa Mystica Foundation. Rosa Mystica House of Prayer is a 160-acre retreat center in upstate New York and now houses the very car in which Anthony Fuina picked up Padre Pio. Joanne, welcome to the Miracle Hotline podcast. It's an honor to have you with us. Could you start by telling our listeners a bit about the car?
Yes. So the story that you interviewed Barbara about with Anthony Fuina, Anthony had a healing in the car when he picked up Padre Pio serendipitously one day and was healed of cancer. Then, as you know with the story, he didn't know it was Padre Pio. 2 years later, he found out from his daughter, came home with a card that had Padre Pio's face in it. And he's like, that's not a saint, it's a hitchhiker. So we had a prayer group and we have Rosa Mystica upstate. And Anthony came to speak and tell the story of his healing and Padre Pio and the miracles that he's had. And we became very close with Anthony. Then he started going up to Rosa Mystica, and he felt that it was a miraculous place. And I'll tell you in a minute how that it came to be. And he ended up donating the car to Rosa Mystica. So the car that Anthony Fuina was healed in is now located at the Rosa Mystica Shrine.
Wow. And I thought, when I first heard about this car, I've never seen like a holy car or a shrine car. I mean, it's kind of a modern thing that like a phone booth, or, you might say, oh, I'm going to go in the car and I'm going to talk to God. I mean, isn't it kind of strange to to have a holy, blessed car like that?
It certainly is. And also, too, you pull up and you see it underneath like a carport, and you're like, why are they parking that car? Like, what is that? But anyway, it is incredible. And we have priests all the time, especially the Capuchins, and they do confessions in the car.
Oh,
so that's,
wow.
So people will line up sometimes for hours on a busy day to get a confession in the car, and people go inside the car when it's not like busy, and they pray and to Padre Pio. And Rosa Mystica happens to be very related and close with Padre Pio besides the car. So it's
Right.
it's really been a journey.
And that's like, I think a car is good because a lot of people, that's their quiet time, is when they're in a car. And many people, I guess they're praying in their car, and it's like a private little area. I think a lot of people have peace in their car sometimes. So I think it's appropriate because, we're talking about modern miracles, and, you would never see a car, from Jesus's time, or, because their cars weren't invented back then.
Well, what's incredible too, because we do have at Rosa Mystica a relic museum with over 100 relics.
Yeah.
And we always say that the cars are third-class relic. It's our biggest relic.
Right.
Because it really it is, I mean, Anthony's miracle was authenticated. And to know that Padre Pio was in that
Yeah.
car is after he passed is miraculous and incredible. And who wouldn't want to sit in it, right?
It is amazing. And I guess now we will, as time goes forward, we'll see, holy cell phones or holy different things that you wouldn't think of because you're used to seeing crosses or medallions or I don't know whatever they had back in 2,000 years ago. But it's really neat that things are going to be more
Right,
modern going forward.
right. And with saints coming up these days too, like with Carlos Acudas, he did Eucharistic miracles, but he used the internet,
Oh
and that's how
wow,
it became known and everything. So things are really, really changing.
yeah. And I think it's great because people think the miracles only happened in the Bible, and the Bible is written thousands of years ago, and they don't happen anymore. But they do, they do happen, and this is what this podcast is about to bring to light all the miracles that are still happening to all of us every day. So I guess I was reading about Rosa Mystica. So can you tell me about what is Rosa Mystica and then maybe you can tell us about, it's amazing how it was founded too.
So I'll tell you about how it was formed and how we got involved. But the short story is there was a nun in Italy, and the Blessed Mother was appearing to her, coming as Our Lady of Rosa Mystica. And in one of those apparitions, there was numbers involved, and they couldn't figure out what the numbers were. And then they finally figured out that it was latitude and longitude
Wow.
from Italy to upstate New York in the middle of nowhere in Baptist country. And this is where the Blessed Mother wanted like a house of refuge and prayer built. So, and under the title of Our Lady of Rosa Mystica, it's praying for priests and vocations and building up your faith. So the nun came from Italy. She did prayer, fasting, and adoration for 3 weeks, and to decide if this is what Our Lady was really calling her to do. Because just because she felt that, she wanted to get confirmation.
Right.
She received that confirmation, and a group of priests from monks from Canada came down, and a priest from Brooklyn. You always need a priest from Brooklyn involved when you're going to do something. And they built the chapel, Our Lady of Rosa Mystica.
And what year was this when she came over and when she got these coordinates?
It was in the 1970s.
Okay, so it wasn't that well.
Yeah, it's
50 years ago. Not,
yeah,
but recent. Yeah.
yeah.
I was alive in the 1970s.
There you go. Me too. So anyway, we had a foundation, and we built churches in third world countries for the poor.
Yeah.
My dad had sold the family business. He had made money and decided he really wanted to give it all away and do something for the faith. And my mom, being Irish, just loved the poor. So we were doing that, and somebody on our board got us involved with this. And then after they got us involved with this, they left. So we said, we didn't really want to do this. We only work in third world countries. We're going to give the place away. Okay. So like, not even let's try to sell it or anything. We're going to just we're so out of here. So the day of the closing, we'd be giving it to a priest. And the day of the closing, he had a heart attack. He was totally fine the next day, but he decided he couldn't close on it because he was worried. Yeah. And now we had a few other things where we were giving it away and it didn't go through.
Right.
And they came to my mom and said, the Blessed Mother has a message for you, that America's in trouble now. And now this is your new mission, not third world.
Right. Wow.
So we ended up getting involved and renovating the main chapel, adding other chapels and places for people to stay. And we acquired back all the property that was the original property, because there's 160 acres and we didn't have it all. We got back the original statue of Rosa Mystica. Yeah. And And then since then, we've been doing retreats, and people have been coming there to pray. And I mean, I got to say, we probably had thousands of.
Yeah, I
of
saw it on the internet. Like how many acres is it? 160 you said.
Yeah,
And
160 acres.
it's really beautiful. It's on the top of a hill or a mountain, and it's really beautiful grounds. And I guess you do retreats there and
Yes, and the thing that's incredible is when she got the spot, it ended up being on top of a hill, and the name of the road was Angel Hill Road. Now, it was already that name because people think we named it that,
yeah.
but it was plus a Mr. Angel. But what are the chances that the location ends up
Right.
on Angel
So it was
Hill Road?
already named Angel Hill Road. Like, so
Yes,
that's what's weird. She got the coordinates, and longitude and latitude, it could be anything. It could be in the water, it could be anywhere. So for it to be in a viable place is pretty miraculous, right?
it really is, and there's something really special about the property. You can feel it when you go there. And I just like people. My girlfriend, who never stops talking ever for a second, she got out of the car and she's like, she goes, I can't speak, and I go, okay, that's a miracle. So we got what it's because it just takes your breath away, though. It's
Yeah.
really unbelievable, and the presence of Our Lady is there, and you can feel it.
So apart from it just being a beautiful work of nature, there's also you can feel the holiness that is in that spot.
Yes, and we've had so many miracles happen there, and just to be clear too, with the Catholic Church, they're always alleged miracles too.
Right.
So because until like Anthony Fawina's is verified. But we did have one weekend about 2 years ago. We have a lot of Padre Pio's sightings on the
Yeah.
property,
Oh, wow.
and we had a priest from Divine Mercy come, and he was doing a retreat there. And he goes into his cottage, and Padre Pio comes and speaks to him all night long,
Wow.
direction and everything else that the priest needed. And then the Padre Pio said to tell us who are running the place that Padre Pio is our spiritual director.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't like he went to sleep and he had a dream of Padre Pio. Like he was like in the flesh. Is that how it
Yeah.
was?
And like another time, we had a group there, and a super faithful group, and they do prayers every morning on the phone for an hour to start their days. And there's hundreds of them. And, maybe there was 100 there at the time. But one of the daughters refuses to go to adoration. She says, you know what? I love the faith. I love everything else. I don't believe that that's the true presence of Christ. And I'm not
In the Eucharist.
in the Eucharist. So she didn't go,
Hmm.
and she heard a noise outside her cottage, and then she said she saw like a monk out there, and he sat down the steps, and he started talking to her, and he started to explain to her, about the monstrous, the Eucharist, the true
Yeah.
presence of the Lord, and why it's important. And like all of a sudden, and she had been doing that for years where she wouldn't go. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they're all in adoration, and she shows up, and they're like, what is she?
Wow.
And then she told everyone what had happened. She said, the priest that's here. And then she described how he was dressed, and we're like, there's no priest here dressed like that. We don't have,
Wow.
anyway, we showed her pictures, and then somebody showed her a picture of Padre Pio. She goes, yes, that's him.
That's amazing. So Padre Pio kind of just shows up at times. I've
It shows up.
so like I read part of the about Rosa Mystica, and part of it was that the statue was levitating. I mean, is that true? I mean, is that yeah,
That
like you're
is
saying about the Catholic Church and how they confirm miracles, and they really do an investigation before they say something's a miracle. I mean, what is the story with it, the levitating statue?
So that when Mother Leonardi, when she got there, she had a statue. She purchased a statue, a large cement statue of the Blessed Mother, and allegedly, when the same, but that the statue, when she was praying and walking around the property, discerning where to build the chapel, the statue levitated with her and ended up where it is today. And
Wow.
then they built the chapel there.
That is amazing. If a statue is levitating, and it said that that the statue, there's been other miracles with the statue. It cries, it comes to life. I mean, have you seen that kind of stuff, or do you know about these stories?
Okay, so there's two different statues. So the one we're talking about is a 3 feet tall garden statue, and that was by Leonardo. And obviously, I was not there. I don't
Right.
have a picture of it. I've never spoken to anybody directly that has seen that, and
Yeah.
it's many people talk about it. So
Mhm.
I always be very discerning there.
Right.
There's a large statue of Our Lady of Rosa Mystica, and it's in the center of the chapel. And that's a statue we got back when we took over, and we bought it back from the priest. So it's the original statue. And that statue, many, many, many people have had different personal encounters. One of them being a deacon from Pennsylvania, and he had a great story because his wife asked him to go, and he says, "I'm not into this miracle thing. I'm not going. I don't believe in that stuff, and you're not going to get me to go there." And she turned around and she says, I'm the wife of a deacon. I go everywhere all the time, anytime that you ask me.
Yeah.
And she goes, "I'm asking you to go somewhere with me, and I'd really like you to go." So he
Yeah.
was like, it was Deacon Carmen, and he's like, "Okay," but he was not happy. So they get on the bus, they get there, and he kneels down, and to him, now nobody else but his personal experience was the statue started talking to him and said, "Welcome, Carmen. I've been waiting for you." So he's
Wow.
hit his wife, and she goes, "She's speaking to us." And his wife's like, "Yes, she speaks to all of us." He goes, "No, no, no." She's speaking to me. And so he saw her arms open up, and then like after everybody went down to lunch, and he ran back up there, and he saw like a light coming from outside, and she said, "Carmen, go get the group." And they got the whole group from downstairs, and they went outside, and the sun
Wow.
was pulsating and like shooting beams. But the great thing about this story is he's so embarrassed that he doesn't talk about it and doesn't do anything for 10 years. And he sat there with that information for 10 years, and he felt convicted by the Holy Spirit. And he brought 2 buses up with him on our feast day, which is always July 13th. And he told the whole story. So
Wow. So he didn't say anything about it for 10 years.
no, he was embarrassed, and he's like, everybody's going to think I'm crazy, and it's crazy, and I'm the person that doesn't believe these other people, and now I
Right.
have to tell a story, and I don't want to do it.
Wow, that's really cool. So there's 2 statues. There's the one that the mother that she brought over,
Yes, there, and that's in the front of the church outside. It's like an outside statue.
and you still have that little one.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
We have it in the front, right in the front, and on a stand.
And where do and the other statue, where is that one originally from?
To the chapel, it's the big statue right behind the altar,
Okay.
and behind that is a crucifix. And also when we took it over, when we were renovating, we got the statue back. We needed a crucifix. We're Catholic, so we can't not have the crucifix there. So we had a crucifix made, and it was brought in, and they were pulling it up with joists, like pulling it down with a pulley and pulling it in, and it broke.
Oh.
Now the two men that were doing it were not Catholic either, and when it broke, the crucifix suspended in air. It didn't fall. It
So
didn't
it
move.
it broke and cracked in a pieces.
The the line broke, but the crucifix stayed suspended.
It's just wow. And
Yeah,
and
it's
these guys
crazy.
weren't even Catholic or anything, so they just saw it happen. It wasn't like they were wanting it to happen or anything.
Let's put it this way: we get a lot of conversions there.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I read about your place is that the whole lake is blessed, and there's healings that have happened with this lake water that's now all blessed holy water.
Yes, we had our spiritual director, Father Ignatius Mary, and he came and he blessed the water. And this was kind of an incredible story because um, he was supposed to come like a week after that, and he called me up and he says, I was told by the Blessed Mother I have to go this week. And I'm like, well, I can't get there this week and I want to be there. And he's like, the Blessed Mother said. So I trump the Blessed Mother trumps me. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, if that's what the Blessed Mother is saying, my schedule's not that important. I'm going to cancel. I'm coming, after I tried not to. And we went there and it was an unbelievable thing to experience that I had never experienced before with the blessing. And we had a group of people with us. And it ends up the next week, I brought back the healing water, and my mother had a heart attack and was in like a coma. So I had to bring that water to her. Like, I'm like, okay, that's why I'm supposed to have the water. And I got to the hospital, and it was during COVID, so they don't let you really in or anything, but they thought for sure she was going to die, that day.
Yeah.
So I asked for the chaplain, and the chaplain comes in, and we both have masks on, and he looks at me, and I looked at him, and I go, Father, where are you from? And he goes, is that you, Joanne? And I go, is that you, Father Linder? And this was an incredible story how it ties in. So, and I'll get back to the healing water in a second, but Father, one time when Anthony Fawina and Barbara Fawina were coming up to Rosa Mystica, we didn't have a priest for the weekend. So it was Anthony and Barbara, myself, and a friend in the car. And we had to go pick up the priest in Manhattan. And we were all laughing. We said, oh, I hope he's not a big guy because we're never going to fit him in the car. And we pick him up, and he doesn't say anything to me about any of this until till after he gets back. He lets me know. He had glaucoma, and he was losing his eyesight, and he went in front of the big crucifix there, and he said, Lord, you called me for a vocation. I listened to that call. Now you're taking away my eyesight. If you really want me to be a priest, I need to be able to see the people that I'm helping, preaching to. And at that moment, he was totally healed of the glaucoma, but he didn't want to tell the story until he went. He knew he was healed, but he didn't want to tell us in the car on the way back unless he had proof. And when he went to the doctor, he was totally healed. Now here we are 2-3 years later, and it's not even Manhattan, it's on Long Island, and he's the chaplain at the hospital. And I couldn't get back in. And he said, Joanne, now your mother is my mother. And I said, bless her with this water each day. And anyway, she had gotten better and better, and everything was fine. They took off the ventilator like a week later, and she did pass. But I feel like sometimes, like there was a reason that we had that water, and that we were there, and that the priest was there. And so I don't know, this is my own personal feelings, that sometimes, we work out our purgatory on earth, and we need a little bit of time, and God gives us the graces at the end. So I feel like that's what it was.
Yeah. So how was the water blessed in the lake?
Father, like we had taped it, but I don't want to say the wrong thing, because Father had a whole process that with the way the Catholic Church blesses water, and he felt that is a healing lake, that many are going to become there, and be healed and everything. And now we take the water up from the lake and we use it, then it gets blessed again, and then we use it as holy water. But it is like there was a process with a number of different Bibles and everybody reading
Yeah.
different scripture. And so I don't want to say how it's very
But
long. It's
but
like
now
two.
a lot of people are being healed with that water.
Yes, yes. I think that we're not healing anyone. It's
Yeah.
our lady or our Lord, or that these healings are coming from. And one of the things that are really important is too, there is just conversions and bringing back people back to the faith, and people
Yeah.
are healed in all different ways. So
Right.
there's these big miraculous ones, yes, but it's really the everyday little healings
Hmm.
and miracles that are truly miraculous,
Yeah.
and that happen so often, and that's why so many people come there.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about Rosa Mystica now? Like what can you do there? How do you visit? What's it all about?
So what we do in the winter, we kind of go down. We're open in the winter, but we don't run retreats or do anything because the weather gets it's very, very a lot of snow, cold, and everything else. But once the season starts, really in May, then it runs to the end of October. On our website, which is rosamysticaofamerica.org, we have schedules. So different priests come in from all over the place, and they'll do retreats based on different things. So there'll be healing retreats, there'll be marriage retreats,
Okay,
there'll
so
be
you can just look at your website, and if something is of interest to you, you can come during that time and just sign up for the retreat, and you'll also have a place to stay and all meals and everything. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. On the retreat weekends, we'll do a whole program. So we'll start Friday, we'll end Sunday. You stay there 2 nights, you get 5 meals, we do the rosary, we do talks, we have a patriotic rosary there too, that we
Yeah.
do the physical walking and praying, for our country. We do nocturnal adoration all night long. We usually have a well-known priest that comes in, that people follow, and they want to go there for, and it's really a beautiful, beautiful experience,
Yeah.
and it's meant to build people back up in their faith. It's hard to, it's like getting your car filled with gas. You have to, if your car runs out of gas, the car is not running. And spiritually, it's hard these days, and it's hard to always be around like-minded people too, where
Right.
praying. Like now, if you're praying at a restaurant before you eat, it's unusual. So,
Right.
so it's you need to go somewhere and be built back up and increase your faith, and the biggest miracle of all is the peace and the joy that you receive, and you take that back with you, and you
Yeah.
can give it to the people.
So you have a marriage retreat where you can go with your spouse together. Is
Yes,
that?
and it's a well-known cloistered priest. Okay, here we go back to Padre Pio. So Father Pio and Father Pio's mother wrote a book. Their family was very close with Padre Pio, and Padre Pio actually named him, and her mother wrote a whole book about their family and Padre Pio, and then he became a priest, and now he's Father Pio, and he's doing a marriage retreat, and phenomenal priest. And there's a nun that comes, and she works with him as well, and it's really be an extraordinary weekend. And like weekends like that won't be very big weekends, it would be more of an intimate a weekend.
Hmm.
And then we have like our feast day. So usually for feast day, which is July 13th, and our Blessed Mother as Our Lady of Rosa Mystica asked every July 13th to be venerated as the feast of Our Lady of Rosa Mystica, we'll have like 1,000 people there.
Wow. So that's are you people camping for that, or how do you have all those people there? Or they just come for the day?
It's a great question, but we sleep for like 70 people there,
Yeah.
but those people are mostly coming on buses.
Okay.
Come from all over the place in buses, and and it's multilingual too, which is really beautiful. Like we do the rosary, and every decade the rosary is in a different language.
Oh, that's cool.
It is just so nice.
So people will just come up on a bus for the day for those big feast days where there's 1,000 people?
Yes, I mean people do stay there because we fill up on premises, and sometimes people are being big if we get full.
Okay.
But so 70s, we sleep like 70 something people there, and then the rest of the people. I know last year we did. Father Blunt came in, who is a phenomenal priest, and we had 600 people for 3 days.
Wow.
So the feast 1 day. So a 3-day, you have to stay there. So we're near Cooperstown. So people got hotel rooms and everything else, so that they could come.
Wow.
And then then we'll have smaller, like we're opening up the season with Kathleen McCarthy, who has a healing ministry, 12 children, and I'm just guessing at these numbers, but I think 50 grandchildren, 50-something grandchildren, 20-something great-grandchildren, but an international healing ministry. And she's phenomenal. I personally had a healing with her too, and her and Father Scott, who's a Dominican. They'll open up the season in the first weekend in May. So that was beautiful.
Wow. So you have all kinds of different things. And then can you just come up to visit? You don't want to do a retreat. You just want to stay at the place and just have your own peace and quiet for a little bit.
Actually, Dino, that's another great question. I was going to say that. You're reading my mind. I forgot. Yes, a lot of people come up there. They rent a cottage and they do their own thing. I mean, we have mass every day during season, of course.
Okay.
And we have 24-hour adoration once a week. And Father Blunt had asked us to do that to end abortion first. He said that the end of abortion will come from that little chapel, and then the country. So we do that. So people just come all the time, and especially like during the week, it's super quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So weekends it's kind of busy, but we also get a lot of priests that come there, and they take their own private retreats.
Yeah.
Pray and just be in Our Lady's presence, and it's a different experience, and they're both equally as nice.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of the place. It's like you have log cabin chapels, and you have the big chapel, and all sorts of different areas that I guess you can pray or whatever.
Yeah, and we have over 100 certified relics. So when I say certified, I didn't understand this as much as I do now. But at one time, my mother spent her life collecting the relics, and all from legitimate places. However, out of 300 and something, we had Father Carlos Martin authenticate each relic, and he's the world-renowned relic expert. He also has the podcast, The Exorcist Files.
Okay.
I don't know if you listened to that.
I've not heard it, no.
Yeah, it's really very good. And he said 200 weren't authentic.
Oh,
that
wow.
There was some the Vatican and other things when some relics were authentic. So we have over 100 authenticated relics, which is unbelievable. I mean, one of the relics has a little, the 12 apostles, a piece of each one's bones.
Wow. That's really amazing. So do you have any other miracle stories? Because there's so many that have happened. I mean, is there any that stand out?
Well, there was one that was really incredible. Focus TV had done a story on it. But years ago, I had a manager working there, and who was not Catholic, but she was married to a non-practicing Catholic. and he did like groundskeeping and everything. But they had three adorable young girls, daughters, and we had this group come in from Canada, and they met the girls, and they thought, oh, they're so lovely. And the one of the women on the group bought the girls all their own rosary beads and taught them how to do the rosary because they never did the rosary. So after the whole group leaves and everything, the three little girls go up to the main chapel and they're trying to pray the rosary. And then the one keeps praying it. The other two start fooling around because they're young kids. And the one gets frozen and the other two are like, stop, stop, stop it. You're scaring me. What are you doing? What are you doing? And she puts her hands up and she points to the side of the altar, and there's an angel.
Wow.
And the angel didn't say anything. It had its head tilted, and there was tears coming out of the angel's eyes. And then all three of them saw it, and
Wow.
then they ran. Then when the three of them, then when the other two started running, the one that was looking and praying stopped, and then she ran. And that like calls me because we have offices in Long Island and up there. And she's like, what do I do? She's telling me the whole story. I go, well, go back up. But the mother didn't say it. But this is where miracles are really important. The entire family, the mother and father got married in the church, and the mother and all the children became Catholic.
Wow. So the husband was not practicing Catholic at all, and then after they had this experience, then the father converted, and well, the kids they were married, but they weren't married in the church before then.
Right. So the mother and the children became Catholic, and then as soon as they were all Catholic, then the parents got married in the church.
Wow. That's cool. So it's really amazing that the kids saw an angel, but then the miracles that happened afterwards were even better than that.
Right. It had a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Like I know another time we were doing a women's retreat, and there was a few women that my children, moms that they go to school together, and one of the moms had texted me, and we were totally booked. And she texted me and she said, oh, I know you're booked for the women's retreat and I can't get in, but I really want to go. So please make sure that you get me in next time. I said, yeah, okay. But I'm an artist too. I do religious work and portraits and everything. And my art days, I try not to do the ministry work. So I'm at the easel and I say to myself, well, you know what? I could get her in if I move this person. I guess and then I'm like, well, but I'm painting today. I'm not going to do that. And then I heard the Holy Spirit in my head say, are you kidding me? And I'm like, what? Like, I'm sending you somebody to come there and you're too busy. So I'm like, okay. So so I didn't want to appear like that I'm this like wonderful person. Like, oh, let me stop what I'm doing. So that's why I love how God always works. So I stopped what I was doing and I got her in, and she had this incredible experience. And I know her and her husband from school, and I knew that she wasn't Catholic. And her husband was a very, very faithful Catholic. And for 16 years, he'd been trying to get her to convert for 16 years. And then we were there and she had this experience. And then Saturday night we're having dinner. And she goes, Joanne, I'm not Catholic. And I said to her, kidding around, oh, I didn't know. I wouldn't have let you come. And I go, first I know that. And because we're always open to all faiths and everything. We just keep the doors open and anybody that wants the blessings, come on in. And Monday morning she came back and told her husband, I'm converting.
Oh, wow. So her experience at the retreat, it just, it sold her on becoming Catholic after 16 years.
She had a personal encounter with the Blessed Mother, and now she's one of the best Catholics I know. She I'm like, now you're making the rest of us look bad. But yeah. So those are that's like, that's incredible. She was touched by the Blessed Mother, and that's what she needed. And her husband's like, "What did you guys do?" I go, "I just nothing. I made a little joke that I knew she wasn't Catholic. That's all I did." So it was beautiful. It's really a great place to come and to visit and spend. I mean, if the group's there too, you do spend your own private time there, and like the Adoration Chapels is amazing. It's a like you said before, like a log cabin. Whole front is windows overlooking the valley,
Yeah.
and people go there, do adoration work. The sun's come when we do nocturnal adoration. It goes 24 hours, and the sun will come up in the morning, and it's just
Wow.
very holy. It's kind of
Yeah.
one of these that's hard to describe. And when you're there, you'll say, "Oh, that's what."
Yeah, I want to visit, and Lou from the podcast, he said he wants to visit too. So it'd be really cool because I'm not that far away from there. It'd be nice to visit sometime. And the lake, can you swim in the lake?
It's the lake. It was kind of created by beavers, and it's been growing every year.
Yeah.
And so to get into the lake is not easy,
Okay.
because as something like that grows, like it's not like you have sandy beaches that you
Right,
could go.
right.
So we're hoping, in the future to, we survive by donations. Like we're 100% obedient
Yeah.
to the diocese, but we're not funded by the diocese. So
Okay.
we're hoping in the future to be able to get like when the funds kind of come available, like a walkway down there with like a little dock that you could
Yeah.
go in and immerse yourself in the water.
Yeah,
Uh,
because that would be cool since it's holy water that you could just jump right into it. That'd be really neat.
it would be amazing. One short story is my dad had loved eagles, and when he had passed, he had this hand carved eagle out of like a tree trunk, and when I took it for the patriotic rosary walk, and it was at the end, and the volunteers fixed it back up because it was outside for a long time before. And I remember I was driving up there, and I could see down because there's like an overlook deck and where the eagle is. And I'm like, "Oh, there's my dad's eagle. I got to go down and look." And it's a little bit of a walk down there, but so I get down there, and when I get down there, two real eagles, actual eagles, come flying by me, and are
Oh, wow.
right. I'm like, "What? I've never seen an eagle there."
Huh.
And I'm like, this is like, how does this even happen? My neck is just like, wow, amazing.
That's really cool.
And it's open all the time. You don't, if you're not staying there, you don't need to tell us in advance. You can just come anytime. And, if you wanted to stay, you just, from our website, it tells you how to book and everything
Okay.
else like that.
Oh, that's really great. So that's amazing. So you're just used to when you hear stories about Padre Pio walking around or angels appearing or a statue. It's like, oh yeah,
I
that
know.
happens.
It isn't that something,
Yeah.
but you know what? I think, like you were saying in the beginning, that people feel like, oh, the miracles are only, in the Bible, and there's miracles all the time, and what the miracles aren't meant to be as sensational as they are to lead us to God, and to think about, we're just visiting
Yeah.
now. We have to think about eternal life, and they lead us, to think about heaven, to think about God, to increase our faith, and to propagate that faith.
Well, that's amazing. So yeah, so Rosa Mystica, what's it called?
It's Rosa Mystica Shrine, and
Okay.
the website is rosamysticaofamerica.org.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to go to a place to maybe experience a miracle or a healing or just have some peace, that's a great place to go.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. So
Well, thanks a lot, Joanne. It's been great talking to you and really getting down to the bottom of this car, Padre Pio's car, which fascinates me. And that's, I really want to visit just to see the car.
no, you have to now. You can't interview all these people about a car and not go sit it.
All right, thanks, Joanne.
Thank you so much, Tina. Bye.
Thank you, Barbara. Your story is truly inspiring. We have links in the description to Anthony's full story and a link to the Rosa Mystica House of Prayer where you can visit Anthony's car. Thank you for joining us on the Miracle Hotline podcast. If you have experienced a miracle or an extraordinary stroke of luck, don't hesitate to share your story by calling or texting us a voice memo at 412-446-0330 or visiting miraclehotline.com. Your message could be featured in an upcoming episode, or you may even have the opportunity to be interviewed. Sharing these miraculous stories is vital as they remind us of the presence of God or a higher power in our lives. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to ensure you never miss an inspiring tale. Additionally, if you'd like to contribute to sponsor the show or advertise with us, please reach out. The Miracle Hotline podcast is made possible by the generous support of sponsors like Imagine Audio and Media, your one-stop destination for all audio and video production, voiceover, and media transfer needs. Thank you for considering supporting our podcast.